Today is Thursday, sorry, 28th, 2015, and this is around 5 a.m., 4:50 already. I just woke up and we're sleeping. You know, we have a very situation, and yesterday I had another day of clear facts that I never wanted, damages, destructions. Through extortions again and through everything and every day for more. I just went through for a walk, and it were a walk. About this walk I just walked and went all around while I supposedly to come to asking in the noon's light certain velotinosidic favor, which it would be the most of the inskilesinatic, which would be inskilesinatic placement. During this, I just went through and I supposedly had sex with 8 of Policía Federal Argentina. I just were there around and crossed by after I done what I had to do. A very walk for the Shechtik Merrecha Fosmasen, and I crossed by a bridge. And at the other side I had to stay a little bit in the watch at expecting if anyone will ever cropping trouser for the invitation that I supposedly will be waiting for. During there, right in hiding place, there were 2 perros degenerados of the same, delirium and getting seriously violent face, expecting I'm gonna afford you, and telling horse shit, which were not horse shit because of at least will be considered some clear fact, neither bullshit, but actually worm shit they are. The invention that they needed to say. Like naturally, perras degeneradas con vagina, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas consider themselves, and the perra prostitutas of them, less humanity, Sodom and Gomorrah market, Kirchners, evangelics, like expertises, and then horse extras. So in the middle of this whole, I just went through, and I just went away. I walked through this very street until I got to Palermo Lake, 4th Street Park, Buenos Aires. What a very awesome, beautiful day. Truly beautiful day. And I just walked through. And I just walked. And I went around and where this perro de puerta, making the whole of the journey of the delirious trouser perro degenerado argentino, with the pardon of victims and innocents, for the concreting the trim of the fever of Sodom and Gomorrah. So suddenly I just walked and went all around walking and went really tiredly. There were the very beautiful sun, solid day, but even though the mood were all over the place, so suddenly it were not really so nice. You know, and I were walking and I had to talking to somebody while that supposedly asking for sex during extortions and other things around. I just talked to the person and I supposedly will take the offer or asking proposal. Marriage with a trouser, marriage with a genitality Sodoma y Gomorra degenerada. En tus sueños, perra. So in the middle of this all, sorry for this, Gelt lachadi gishmut lachi pachmat chalki vishuat labasecha chalka mari selamov. And suddenly, the witchcraft of the day, oh wish it, ask it, want it, oh you like it. And only just deal with the situation until I just left. During this, everything was exactly what I was saying. But well, I just left. I mean, is exactly what I defined the mall. Is everyone that I was lacra, reventada, but well, just walked on and I went away and where the perra Sodoma rolling all around this parade of trouser, expecting to, we are gonna do to it, of course, your pants test. So I just walked on back, and walked on back. I just walked on back. And while I were about leaving, we're just in so I walked all through again and just walked. While I thought I were leaving, I got to the roses garden and I needed to go to a sanitation moment. So I went to a sanitation and should I say what I've done? I had 4 men of Federal Police of Argentina inside and I were the freak out whore with a simple deposition in a vase, in a toilet, and just went away with a couple of photos of my record that you really needed and wanted, and simply left with a deposition in a vase, 4 perros degenerados de Sodoma that I never ate in and never went inside. Sorry. My God, I don't need porquerías, and I don't touch porquerías reventadas unless to think even my fagels to be them, my God. I don't tolerate it, no, my fagels are even the chances to be with the quality of the decency and the honest to be fagels. Genuinely quality fagels, not shit. The words. Sorry. Well, forgive me please, this moment. So suddenly, I just went away, and I were about leaving, and I were all around there, and suddenly I went away for the taking a bus, but oh well, walking a little bit here, walking a little bit there, walking a little bit around, come back a little bit, we have a problem, it's happening. And they were not denigrating me and neither being part of this, never were. And we have a situation, and I'm going to tell you what is the situation. So suddenly I just have seen, during this, maricas. The same like I shown you yesterday while I were in Cromer and Elcano Avenues intersection Buenos Aires Park, that small plaza, beside on the bed of the reels right beside. And suddenly there happened the reflexie besachelik in barhuachalek beshatla bechatsi in reidi teshelek nantsmot kamavati. And where this perros degenerados, Policía Federal, making the study of the situation went all around. And suddenly when I moved away from that park, Palermo Park, Lakes, Roses Garden place, away, I just walked few meters and I went back and I saw them another night made on the view that they were making the research about what I were doing there in under camo and semi-secret, of course, and said that found 8 petilias and that they will corroborate saliva DNA, which they had in cryogeny, and this is not a joke, for data putting in petilias, saying marijuana, cigars, saying that I were consuming there, and that I were there for the robbing. And says that I am guessing them, so I am making a crime against the government, and of course, because if I say got to be, because if I am permanently guessing and I say for dissuading the reality and trying to destroy the government and damaging the authorities, national authorities and evangelics and the whole of governors, I got to be in jail because of that is a crime. I am frustrating the whole that day trousers fever, marica perra, that is Sodoma needs to do. So in the middle of this whole sorry the word, I just were for a moment walking through and I just had to go back. During this I just go back and went back. Oh, right, and I walked back. To pass by all over again and I never approached to no one and no one to me. So I just walked back, asking our a couple of times, corroborating. I were there. Alright, never happened this way, but understood. So, just walked back, and in the walk back, I were about leaving again. So I went all of the way around, and I were all around about to left. And suddenly, oh right, and whenever I just went back again, it were already night. Supposedly I would be expecting to find out night horses, night bikers, night trousers, yeah. And I just went back and I were dealing with a situation which nothing like having sex, and neither chunky and neither rod. And I just walked through and made in my walk through and dealt with certain situations in Marica Liceo Militar, Argentino, were raping my people, and I just ended all but 3 in, right? And yes, I did. I ended them all but 3. Perros degenerados. I had to have medication, for I'm killing your soldiery, marica Sodoma, violadores degenerados de todo género y toda edad. Y perros y hamsters. So in the middle of bananas, of Lucifer, of trousers of Sodoma, and will I say rotten cream of figured gonorrhea of Sodom, Ishbatlachi all around. Suddenly, Sodom, Blervasechachi Sodom, Bobatuba, Anakturat, Sodom, English. Revatlache vesishvat laki mi revefoch, machalki mi sechishvat laki revitives motlaves of asvachta shachnam. So at the real of this and through this, just walked back. And walked back, and during this I sang opera and I supposedly have been screaming. And I sang others and I supposedly been screaming. And before, at the right afternoon, suddenly we were in a very interesting talk for the reason of Mr. President asked something to me, with your honors. And were the situation like we had all around, that were asking me What will be the condition of a plechvesifish volech matechlikin riat because of there is a carousel in the zoo, Buenos Aires Zoo, studying the old ones. Not too big, but is a very interesting carousel for kids, naturally. And once I went through, and there was this little girl making the naturally kid moment up on a horse, and perros maricas started the same things like are naturally them. Perros maricas de Sodoma. Y sus perros acá. So suddenly in the middle of the soul, I saw the carousel, and this started to say, no, he's seeking for the little girl. To making that. And in the middle of the soul, Mr. President Barack Obama, in a communication which is supposed to hilarious, the government of the United States of America is communicating to us all the time and gave us these numbers to talking to them and are permanently telling us that they are tired of this one, that they don't know what's the matter to them about their soul, and to the ones that falls to them, that I am still delivering permanently sick, that nothing on what I say ever happened, and they are expecting the Argentinian government to take precautions measures and internate this person because of nothing like they says were happening in the US and not in the world will ever be true. So the ones that says to be US government and extra. So suddenly, Sodom y Gomorra dams. This Ejército Argentino and ADT. All through this, suddenly happened the clear fact that I were explaining what is the reality of a kid. And saying psychology that the kid experiences pleasures in genitality whenever he's a kid. And I said no. And perra Gomorra y expertas perras manfat, Kirchners, telling to the who and to everybody what will be the my supposed child abuse, that I will ever experiencing having that glik matmetsivish koplevechlachion the letosenitk bandchitishvotlech mitsikamav. The reason why I'm supposed to prostitution. Maldita las reventadas. De Gomorra, Toces Sodoma. And they said for all through 5 years that they knew and they were expertises and they understood and they were expertises and dedicated to making a career about that and explained that that were the way, and psychology explained perfectly. And while talking with Mr. President, and forgive me the words please, I just said exactly the truth. The kid is a kid, and the kid doesn't has the matureness, not in the brain and not in the body, for the sensitive character for what it means. Genitality doesn't express us until pre-puberal moment where the body closes in the whole condition for what is the growing glands system, and the whole as the brain starts to get prepared, the brain itself, for the reality as growing, maturing, to implacing at the reality of the person, psycho-emotionally, hypophysically, what it means, genitality, and the relation about the gender. And from there on, the person grows and understands preparing for the step forward and to be an adult, and the adult becoming the person it is. So, suddenly, the reality of the soul goes through the and started to delivering by guessing every word, some before and the most, all back, that they were the ones that said, and I thought I were saying something and I were making my control to them. Pedazo de reventada, Policía Federal Argentina, Kirchner's, by making day and night like now, profanation, adivinatory, selective witchcraft. Perras de puerta, with them evangélica diabla reventada. So in the middle of this all I explained then what it's like for a kid, the reality of a trauma, related on sex and sexuality with no capacity to understand or comprehending what is for genitals and what is discovered, the reality of self-esteem anatomical scheme and between the relation that if there is not the right education or understanding what to put in order, the kid gets trauma or makes erratic, not natural things, and comes other class of things, which is child corruption we were discussing, but this perros de cuarta and the whole associated, which is natural. They do. Diablos, maricas, reventados de Sodoma y Gomorra. And they dedicates to that. They are career on that. Child corruption and offries and let's fucking kill around the kids. Sorry the word, forgive me please, I'm sorry. It's what they say do while raping. Like a natural, normal thing. For them. So suddenly, the cases in the United States of America supposedly been inventing or making up, well supposedly they were telling them, oh, I'm going to tell you one thing, and suddenly we're talking and discussing over a case in I'm going to tell you this, you know what, like with everything else is whenever there are dozen calls, oh, he's going to sing, he's going to make poetry, he's going to make designing, oh, call about to come, with Toe and Mariam. Hugging and liking and making the generations thing naturally are for. And through this, not only that, but with this, from nothing, I'm going to talk about this, I have in my mind. Whatever I say, and to make up the serious as the reality with Mr. Presidents, with your honors, I say, and just despite its most hilarious, who is this one? Who's going to believe that we're the government for Christ's sakes? La bragueta de Cristo, sí, perras de cuarta, Sodoma y Gomorra. And sorry for this, Christ is not exactly Mashiach. You get me? The Lord, Adonai, is not exactly them power, diablas reventadas, brujas de cuarta, cristianitas, sodomitas, gomorritas. And sorry for the victims. Then, at the clear of this, and blera besifish koblevech lachachem, mean Mashiach is God, El Chai, God Himself, Almighty God, and the Christ is Diabla Reventada like them. Because of Mashiach said, that is not my name, which is the real El Chai, the Son of God. And pardon for the victims again. Justify the victims, not the shit. So, through this, in Rebeflechi Viskot, Levechlachish Matachlaki, Remiafachar Chalaktsima. And Remoplevechal Chalikish Votlechma Plechti Kad Sashachla Angratik. Betlemoplevechal Chimi, Kablevechevesot to Askelash Kamatrachim. And I gave them the testimonies that were requested for they have the picture and understanding. And there are people that were protected with families and with others about working for these cases and understanding and corroborated that the kid has the acknowledge of the reality about nothing, which the genitality means at the development of hypophysic state. For the clear fact of is there makes be and is something like can rolly everyone or suddenly around the idea to what will be like but doesn't has idea what for that exact way except for distortions over child corruption some. So at the point of the blera vesifish votlevechal kleich me blechevish matzinam. Further this. What ba and my hypophysics were exactly the need for Marica, Cuerpo Médico Forense. Oh, we are going to show you that he mistakes. You like it, kid? Do you like this? Cuerpo Médico Forense, Policía Federal Argentina. Groping kids and asking them if they likes on the character of doctor. Degenerados hijos de una maldita perra sucia reventada como ellos. That is not the duty of a doctor. You like it? I'm gonna make you like it. For here to be wrong. Perra de cuarta. Sen roma plevechal chalivish botek hama plevechlachi kashmat tachacham. in blobbesefiskoppleweg lagior de laierdia, right? Son shechlaki mi blecha vafogra chiliki mi sochele hishvatecha, mebleweg mablecha vesechishkat ladechleki mi va. En dechleki mi vachelech hiviskoppleweg hacheleki mi bosleem at besevakt. So in the middle of this all, I just went back and were saying that they will ever make an examination hypophysic to me, Cuerpo Médico Forense Argentino, to saying, put this old man, Armed Forces Argentina, with a phallus up, and this one in front, if he doesn't have some hypophysic moment to liking. Let's test him. To corroborate that he's not a, say the word fag, that he doesn't want to have sex and he never did. So in the middle of this all, orders all around and saying, oh, we're going to do it, and also to it, and to Amia. Zijn rebaplevig vidigafach mopleja jalín with las brujas reventadas y las brujas evangélicas y las brujas K y toda la bruja reventada tribunales argentina y toda la bruja reventada forense y toda la bruja reventada milica. And manipulating and making the whole of the degeneration that they are for every day. So in the middle of this all, it just went back. And at the night, I crossed by that goddamn place and I just were there around and I just walked through large walk. And that's all I done. Walk through just large walk. And I went around certain place and I were just walking by, walked. Until I got to a bus stop. And I had taken the bus right there, 141, until Rivadavia and Terrero Avenue Street intersection, where I just came down and walked. Through walk, we were walking glech mi av levechti and talking for the blech visvoch matzima. And through this, I just done the blech vesich lech machalekimid and came on talking one moment in time and some other with a very inflammatory and resilience of my voice in a very fatigue. Songs of the beautiful Tina Turner, which I felt lousy because of my state and were terrible. And suddenly this song of Whitney, One Moment in Time, Whitney Houston. And some transvestite clan of Christina Kirchner, one heard me and said, oh my God, he got nabbed because of we deserve it, and started to go into the bruja marica, the Policía Federal Argentina, saying to take it off and to put it in them. El clan de la perra acá. Servil mierda para la mierda eterna. And others being destroyed and murdered and also massively raped, saying that they are going to seal in the power of the palace, but the hocus pocus of cristianitas, brujitas, evangélicas, diablas, pendejas, diablas del infierno, for their work with, and saying that they are not going to lose the powers and the offerings. The victims, naturally. The perras, serviles mierdas, or all with them. So in the middle of this, and I just came back and I knew everything that this perro de guarda wanted to do and saying, let's come now. And I put it in the hole that we're about to coming now, even SAME, Paramedics Argentina, Buenos Aires, consider of government. And also Perra Mierda, Borda Viar, Piñeiro, Argerich, Churruca, Steel, Durant, Fernandez, hospitals, Bensar, with a burden of victims, and Freiden Amegino. So in the middle of this, en plena recidiskop levechla, ki mi rechi, vasvat levesechacha, Cuerpo Médico Forense, still delirium, they wanted the hypophysic, they said. If I will excite and favored getting with the shaft up of the putazos, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas over the world, y milicas, them testing for tribunales K y toda mierda aledaña asociada, como cristianitas, perras evangélicas. No haces eso, mentira de mierda. Then at the reality of Vechla Vechlechivi Sochama Plechatish Keblechla with the burden of victims. You do it all the time, Marikas. Gelchava Plechava Sechish Kablach Machal Kibirchlechivish Koblevech Machanav. And the reality is simple. I came back and I came with a tiredness, with a force that lacked to smooth, and a very trained of the whole strength that I felt at the chair seated again with my aching feet and with the very need of taking a rest and just living. All through this, I only walked and dealt with the soul, and we just were communicating. My talks the whole day long in the liars all the day, but weren't I just making prostitution and being just a fag in the middle of the forestry lake with 8,005 milicos getting all inside of me, and you have the pictures that you shown and murdered for? Marica Kai, Maricas, Policía Federal Argentina, that you live off. Sorry the words. Then suddenly came the reality that Your Honor and Israel needed I to talk of certain things. Forgive me please for the terms I used. And the clear fact of this were, since my children, Milicas, Maricas, Sodoma, Argentina, were asking to Maricas reventadas prostitutas evangélicas that were with them since, with the pardon of victims, to curse me at the way that I never did rise. And because of this, perras, maricas, Sodoma, Ejército Argentino, Fuerzas Armadas Argentina, officialism, menemism, Peronism, and all associated, saying that I wouldn't rise from that because of evangelic said, like the rest all, and I wouldn't be any other. So they determined about they says to be of God, that I will be a lousy fag, prostitute, degenerate that wouldn't rise from licking the generations from any degenerate in my way, and that will be my place by Eladon. Since my 5 years old, that 1976 came from Swiss and France, the perras legacies of this perra carnival, Preincrudo Cabrera Nacondia, Palau, and associated, for the protection of the Argentinian patriot and saying that I will be the demon. Making the Gemen Bandlachani and Tahani and saying the Peshwa Halachim my supposed hilarious. And Perras Maricas Sodoma, Ejército Argentino, and associated a lifetime making this to me, saying you're not going to rise from there, and you're going to remain there, and always with Maricas Evangelicas right behind, supporting them and helping them, like today, saying that that will be my place, and we're a lifetime making this to me, over helping and assisting for extortions and murder and genocide to happen around my life. And this will be my delirious and megalomaniac, schizoid, delirious, psychotic, maniac persecutor and disorders of Lanskam, which Lanskam is not exactly, but this is my diagnosis, which will be delirious for consuming of drugs and consuming of admitiam ablefechatoshmotachligimim, they said. And the reality will be the disorders of Yospek that they refuse, because of the diagnosis of this, that is the forensics Argentina. They know by buying titles and paying trousers for rape and murder and having the 50s and 30s of mine. Right? And he said what I told you to say. We know first 2 words because of the whole before never were there, but they're found in the stage and saying, have you seen? Now I'm gonna tell you. Pedazo de malditas reventadas. So what the reality of this in Blech Vasechish Bodlebech Hama Blech Matzima Blefech Ishkatach Lachama. And says Volativach Machalecham. And happened the clear fact and Blech of Vachalekivis Vacholebas Patlemesekish Kablevechni Kimiamba Vesesada Adnesad. And forcing this video as well and repeating words after me saying that they done and aray. And cámara de comunicaciones bloqueado ya. Claro que lo bloqueé, que no lo deje publicar. Because that's horrendous. Sorry, So suddenly Reba blecha v'sivishko blevechma blecha chinimiyem bleveseveshko blevetiredicha revatemava ashevot gemaranim. En Reba blecha v'plecha v'sishvo v'karetimia bleveseveshko blevechma ankadevasi. Shkelakti Reba blecha chavapoavas v'lakishmatach legimiratuma blevechat samanam, and pretending to be erasing my conscience away for they to be, oh, have you seen he guesses it? Gel Reba blecha v'sechish v'lecha chali bruja de mierda evangelista, vas a morir y tener la muerte que te mereces. Maldita reventada. Gel Reba blecha v'sichish kol chachi, profaning me day and night and making the destruction upon my person, for they have succeeded the feared trouser. So suddenly, this disorder will refer the plecha v'sishu aklechama plecha v'sichish v'ok machracha de vedlakti v'shu aklevachmatza v'sechetim. And that will be the diagnosis they gave on Lanskan. Void in bablecha sechiri trousers, and a very forged title in a very moment of plecha v'sishma plecha v'sechal chimivan. So at the reality of this in plecha v'sivishkov levechmachal, bet plevesech v'shkov levechmatzechal v'yam pleveseveshochanim. Gad blecha v'tzechal lefochar chini ma plevechal kivisoshua plevesechal chanikama. Bel treba plecha diskel plevechal chalam bat pleveseveshkov levechmachal gimivan. So at the real of this in plecha v'sihishvoat lecheva kach ligimiam plevasvot lasi. And it's what permanently we're doing to me. You're not going to have nothing of God, and you're going to be a prostitute that generate crazy fact, which any that generate in the way you're going to be about. Evangélica de mierda, eso es lo que Dios dice de mí. Y vos tenés que poseer mi vida y hacer de mi vida lo que vos decís que Dios te dio en supuesta autoridad y poder y juicio para hacer de mí. Y no dejarme alcanzar ni tener nada, que todo el que me ayude sea de la misma suerte de mi persona que vos decís que Dios dijo que yo tenga que padecer, y no alcanzar una sola cosa, ni profesionalismo, ni bienes, ni tierra, ni derechos, ni derecho a la justicia, ni derecho a la tierra, ni derecho al reino de los cielos, ni nada que tenga que ver con Dios, excepto si hiciera la voluntad de tu bragueta y de rendirme a tus malditas podridas existencias, diciendo que vos sos mi juez, vos sos mi dueño, y vos sos el que va a determinar si yo estoy o no en Dios y si hago algo de Dios. Y después de eso determinar si puedo tener o no algo, de lo cual vos dirías y juzgarías quién lo precisaría mucho mejor y quién sería en condiciones de tener lo que Dios me quiere dar a mí, porque yo no me esforzaría en escuchar a la supuesta autoridad y en hacer su mandato de la autoridad evangélica de la maldita de Gomorra y Sodoma que ustedes son. Criminalita reventada, ladroncita perra, ladroncita bruja, reventada marica, reventada perra prostituta evangelista. With the pardon of victims. Y yo fui, marica, estás muerto. Y es eterno. Y no salís de eso. Todavía no te despertas y no comprendes, marica, que sos un diablo y que no fuiste puesto por Dios y que lo que me hiciste me haces desde muy temprana edad y todo el reventado legado que sos, con muerte lo tenés por toda la eternidad. Y Dios no te lleva arriba, te manda donde perteneces, diablo, al infierno, evangelista de mierda. Todavía no lo entendés. Y ya lo vas a tener bien en claro. So in the middle of this, the attach at the reality of evangelics said, we are going to make it happen. So they had to come to kidnap and kill and rob properties, patrimonies, and rape families all around, and rape and destroying and saying, we are going to talk to the mother. We already are doing. We end with the rest, and after that we come to it. And marica reventada ejército argentino saying that I wanted Ido Blowchap to come to sucking the banana because of he will ever destroy my people and to me. El tazo reventado ejército argentino. And playing still that permanently profaning me and the witchcraft favorite Marica Reventada Sodoma Trouser to raping my people. With tazas reventadas evangelistas unidas, making the favor for that to be crucially possible. And this were my lifetime. And where legado evangelista, legado cristiano, das mira, narcolat, which is exactly Vatican in this, which all has a pact of 200,000 pesos each brothel of Grand Whore Evangelica for power control and domain the world and assist for the governments to do what they got to do. The governments whom? Luciano Troviano, Sembleja Besaji, Gobierno de Lucifer, pretender of government of the world. UNASUR especially, with Francesca at the top of the prostitution. And I the liar. Pedazo de reventadas. Sorry the word. Perdón, papa. No es dignatario de la realidad de mi nombre con vos, y mucho menos tuyo. Perdón, Hashem. Pero se lo estampo por todos los siglos a cada una de las parras estas, y así mueran. Shabbat. Gracias, Hashem. Berthalachem ablevessevish koblevechbach lachachem. In Reboblecha vasich shuat lakim yerachid vesechlim. So started making the cursing and destruction for, oh, he done it, failed, we told you, we saw it all, everything's happening, he was making it all. Delirante diablo, la parra sucia enfiebrada de Sodoma, con título evangelista, hice tu muerte, y de ahí no salís. So, Claire Vesichish Boatlechma Blachati Kishkathalachad Ma'afasem. https www.bdrmdmtdxtdmcff command 93 bxt middle sistemas de proteccionismo y bien comunal nacional argentino y UNASUR. Las formas de protección de la población y del baluarte de los estados y de las patrias. Nuestros machos dignatarios son los encargados de hacer justicia bien a nuestros nombres y legados, a nuestra herencia. Presidencia Kirchner, Gobierno Nacional. DRMC BMCT 4349 DX 5544348 DMI X1XT DMC BRM3 DT DXM middle sys middle OCOR 5.20 systems recall F7 the whole tools and the also it will be an AHA followed. Rebablech vessevish koblech lachivien poswat levesvech lechiskabech lachachal gimi blevechish vot lachti kredasvat matleveseshachim. I am so sick of this, and I meant what I said. Yes, I am so sick of this, and I meant what I said and what I said. I have been making Pesach to the health with Adonai to preserve to my life and to us. And I were fighting for this to keep and trying to order some objectivity about the problems of us, to ahead and to making the right thing, and to holding our lives as the responsible me in front of His name and the name I am of His. He owns me completely. And these perros evangelistas with its Sodom and Gomorrah making destructions and extortions for there to be the place Lord said. And Adonai said, brujas de cuarta diablas reventadas muertas están. And it's the real God, the one I say Adonai. And perras, poder y autoridad, Dios avala la autoridad y el poder, no importa lo que hagan, está la autoridad de Dios avala la autoridad. En los sueños de Sodoma y Gomorra y toda perra de cuarta como vos. Bruja de regati masiva, reventada mierda. maldita porquería enferma. And it means they have supposedly authority and powers, supposedly anointed, and God will ever respect that, no matter the abominations and the generations and crimes they do. God will be mercy of the authority because of the word, and God will instaurate them for the making the disasters and the generations they do to us. Says God be that. And people confused, thinking God is a son of a and so evilly, twisty, and nothing other like that. Y esta perra van a morir como tal. Diablos. So we already have enough. And victims, still more. And I am sick of them. Hipophysics often throws her. Hipophysics.